Yeah, but Scott Stevens specifically on that show decided he was going to call me Robbie because my brother visited me when I was working on that show. My brother calls me Robbie, and so Stephen was like, Robbie, okay, Robbie it is, and then that spread. Now all of them call me Robbie, and it's funny. I know like people that my Felicity cast are friends with that I don't even know me as Robbie. You know what I mean? We'll be like, oh hey Robbie. So yeah.
He knows he's in trouble when I say Robert.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you think Richard Coe's up to now?
I think he's either in politics, you know what I mean, or he's like really down on his luck somewhere. But he was a pretty ambitious dude.
Something with Noel.
Yeah. Something obsessed with Noel. Yeah. But it was really fun to go back and watch that show again and do that podcast.
I started watching it last year. It's really good.
It was a good show. It was such a fun show. Great to be part of. Thank you so much.
Have you seen it, Rich?
I have not.
Oh.
We, J.J. Abrams, it was his first thing that he did, this TV show Felicity that was on in the late 90s, early and there's a podcast that you can, on Spotify or wherever, a new Felicity podcast that all of us have been back to talk. JJ and Matt Reeves and Kerry Russell and Scott Stevens and Scott Foley and everybody talking about the show. So check it out. It's really cool. And I have on an episode.
You might have just said it, but what's the podcast called?
What's it called? Is it called Dear Felicity? Okay, it's called Dear Felicity.
That makes sense. All right. And Matt Reeves, the guy who created it.
Matt Reeves and JJ Abrams.
Put together.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm Miranda. I'm from Austin. So I was wondering if y'all had like a dream job or like goals that like the three of y'all could do together. What would that be?
Dream job or dream roles we could all do together.
I think we would just do the relaunch, reimagine Three's Company.
Okay?
Only instead of Jack Kipper living with the two ladies, it's Lucky Ruth living with two dudes.
Right.
And just like he had to pretend that he was gay in order to get into the building, she has to pretend like she's gay to get into the building. Otherwise, it'd be unfair to us because we don't want to be sought after by Ruth all day long. You know, and then we have crazy Mr. Roper, or, you know, or Mr. Furley or whoever, you know.
Yeah.
And Larry, our swinging neighbor.
Larry, the swinging neighbor. Yeah, I like the new. Do you know what Three's Company is?
No, but I'm down.
She's a different reference point because of England.
Oh.
So Three's Company was a hugely popular.
Scotland, but yeah.
Do you anymore?
I'll be backstage.
I'm sorry.
Helps in trouble.
I'm sorry, I thought it was in the UK, but I must be wrong.
Well, the Olympics must have been a treat at that house.
It's so funny when Andy Murray used to do well, he was Great Britain's Andy Murray, and when he didn't do well, he was Scotland's Andy Murray.
But you told me well, like I know I'm very...
You do, I was just teasing.
Because a lot of people over here will say someone's...
They think Scotland's in England,
right.
but it's not.
English is different.
Or in the UK or...
But in the UK, where you grew up,
yeah.
you have a different reference point.
We do completely different.
But do you know that TV show at all?
No, but I totally...
Why can I not remember the lead actor? Who's the lead actor?
John Ritter.
John Ritter. I'm drawing a blank. John Ritter. It's what made John Ritter a star.
I completely get it. Like, I feel like I must have seen that, or something.
It was a classic sitcom.
Yeah.
And
Very campy, over the top, but just worked because especially because John Ritter was so funny.
I would love to do that with y'all.
Super fun.
That would be super fun.
That would be a super fun thing to do. The full-on sitcom, same, go to the Regal Beagle, the whole nine.
Yeah, my pitch is completely different. My pitch is like a reimagining of the West Wing, where I'm president. And you're like chief whip.
Okay.
Yeah?
Chief Whip.
I'm in charge of all the whips?
Yeah. And you're like my arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Why does he get to be your chief whip?
I don't have a whip thing.
Like, the love of my life, my partner, mother of my child, was like, and I cast you as my whip, and you. You're my enemy. You're never. I don't even know you.
But wouldn't it be fun to like argue all day at work and go home and it'd be nice?
You're in charge of my foot massages daily. And Robert, you played the guy who unclogs the commode when I
Were you in Shrek?
Yeah.
I knew I heard that voice before somewhere.
But I like the idea that I'm your masseuse. I think we landed on that.
Okay, I'm your arch nemesis, but then at one point, it's will they, won't they? And we finally hook up at the end of
And then
season
it's
one.
just one big party.
And then we just make out all day.
Yes, and
And then we go to work.
And then all of America is united.
Yeah.
Together.
There we go.
Good one, Robert?
Shoot. I mean, I guess it's a version of both of those shows together, where Ruth is president, but she lives with two dudes in the White House. One's her chief whip and one's her arch nemesis. And
But they're all roomies.
the hijinks ensue.
And the White House has a landlord, Mr. Roper.
Yeah.
And we surely the White House has a neighbor. That's got to be Larry.
Yeah. And we all hang out after work at the Regal Beagle.
With security detail.
With security detail.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
Secret Service.
What a great question.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Hey, Ruth, you mentioned something. You go in England when this dude's doing great.
Andy Murray,
Who the
tennis
hell's
player.
that?
Scottish tennis player.
Ah.
Andy Murray.
Andy Murray.
I wasn't sure the reference, right?
So it's just the thing that Scotland is not England, it's in the
Right.
UK, it's with Great Britain. It's just like an old.
Like it's part of the UK,
Sure.
so when he does well,
It's
they
just-
go.
They raise it.
Yeah.
The UK press.
Well, it reminded me of a sign I saw in a diner many years ago. I was in Vancouver, and USA was going to play Canada in hockey, and they were going to screen it in this bar diner, and they had on the big board, USA versus Canada football live, and then underneath that it said, "The loser keeps Bieber."
That's funny.
Poor multi-millionaire Justin, I'm sure
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
really upset.
I'm sure, yeah. Lost sleep.
Funny.
All right, you're up there.
Hi, I'm Sammy and I'm from Canada.
Hey!
Hey!
Hey, Bieber.
Excellent timing.
And my question is, if you could meet your characters from Supernatural, do you think you'd get along?
Yeah,
Bitch ass.
I feel like you would.
You and he are kind of alike in a way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I mean, look, I think yeah, I think we'd be fine. I think I might advise myself to stop fighting my brothers because I always lose. But yes, I think in broad stroke terms, I think I would get along.
I would be scared of Rowena. I'd be correctly afraid of her. I wouldn't mess around. What about you?
I would be afraid of Rowena as well. Well, I don't know. You know, it's a weird question. I take so many turns. I was gonna say I would be friends with the early version of Chuck, but that early version of Chuck wasn't friends with anybody. You know, he was a recluse who drank a lot and hung out in his house. So I don't think he would like me. And then when he became God, I mean, it's God. God loves everybody. Until he didn't love everybody. And then we wouldn't get along either. So maybe not. Maybe not as much as I love Chuck. I have such a fondness for Chuck and playing Chuck.
I think you would bicker.
I would. Okay.
And you said recluse?
Excuse me?
You said recluse?
Yes. What do you say?
No, I can't remember. But it's not that. Recluse. What do you say?
I said recluse, but I don't.
And that's what I said. Recluse is what I said.
You said recluse.
Yeah, that's what Richard just said.
No. Oh, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
What did you say, Richard?
Recluse?
And I said,
Recluse.
oh.
It's just like pants. It's just one of those Midwestern things.
Right.
I'm gonna go backstage.
I'm trying. I'm not.
How's it being in the village?
It's
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I would get along with him, but
And now you're not so sure you get along with Rowena or Gabriel. You know, I was thinking that if you as God, met Rowena and me as Gabriel met Rowena, it would be interesting because I think Rowena would make me her purse in masseuse or some kind, and you would be the character who was innocent. Very similar to her show.
Yeah, it seems like it. Feels that way.
Yeah.
So I'm God's guilty pleasure.
You'll always have the middle letters library.
Hey,
I mean, nothing happened. Nothing happened.
jeez Louise. You of all people.
I saw somebody was mad at Misha yesterday because Misha didn't know that Gabriel and Rowena in the stacks. He didn't know, and they were angry that he didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was a side story. It was a small side bar for a minute.
Not to me.
Nothing for you to worry about. Okay, next question.
Hello, I'm Mariah. I'm from Alaska and I live in the Northern Virginia, DC area.
Hi.
And I have a question for Ruth.
Dear.
So, I was curious when you were.
Where are you going? Where are you sneaking out to?
Photo op.
You honestly think we couldn't see you? Okay, that's fine. But we know you left.
Stay the course.
We know you left.
She'll answer it. You just have to keep going.
Sorry, Mariah. Sorry.
So, whenever you were reading through the scripts and filming as Rowena, I wondered if you had noticed what I would call sort of throwaway lines that were played for comedy that sort of gave us more of a piece of Rowena's backstory, and I wondered if you had noticed it or if you had any thoughts on it, where there's a point in regarding Dean where Rowena runs into the family of witches that has a black grimoire, and basically at a previous point in her life she had offered to trade essentially herself for training with the spell book. And then there's another point with encountering the spirit of Jack the Ripper, and he's telling Rowena Rob is my favorite date.
Yeah, that was one reference I didn't like.
And so
Yeah.
they had a couple of moments of implying past sex work, and I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
No, not sex work. I don't think was not how I took it. But the Jack the Ripper was like towards the very end of the show, and it was a throwaway line, as you said, and I actually sent an email, like because obviously the storyline was about that character, and I didn't think it was necessary that she had a history with him because it's not funny what Jack the Ripper did to him, not remotely funny, and it's only, honestly, but the only problem I've ever really had, like, I've ever questioned, so I kind of just ignored it. Like, you know what I mean? I just was like, it's just, you know, you would say things. Yeah. No, the thing that was amazing to me about the writing in Supernatural was, even for my very first episode, it was called Soul Survivor. That was the title of the episode, so I took that to heart. Like, that gave me information about Rowena, even though it's not about Rowena. And I would imagine her backstory, I would imagine certain things that might have happened, and then as we would go along, without really discussing it, the writers would write in things that tallied with what I might have imagined, which is a sign that you're on the same page. And that, you know, we're all part of the matrix, and that's partly why the show works so well and why we're all here. Right? Thank you for your question. Very detailed question. Did you?
I agree with everything you said.
Thank you. Okay. Next question.
All right. I have a burning question I've been dying to know. Is it difficult to baby-proof a moat? And is Margaret allowed on the bocce ball court?
Robert?
Good Richard question. Richard likes it on the podcast. We have a podcast, we do the Supernatural Then and Now. And if you're not sick of Rob and Rich, you hop on over to our other podcast we do called Kings of Con podcast, where we're just dum-dums for an hour.
Yeah.
Make each other laugh. It's funny. And but one of the things that Richard likes to talk about is the moat that I have in my house. I said I had a moat, and I don't have a moat, but
That we tell people about.
and again, what was the other thing?
Thank you.
No bocce ball
bocce
court.
ball court.
Yeah, which I also don't have. But
You let the grass grow because you're not playing as much because you're a new father, but Rob, the Benedict estates are lovely, and the moat is, I I mean, it's not filled with alligator. It's not like a actual protection. It's more ornamental. I think is how you would say it.
Pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
She's too young to swim. Do you baby proof a boat?
Yeah, we're just going to teach her to swim so she can swim
Yeah.
from across it.
We actually have her in the pool almost every day, so she loves
We
it.
call it boat training.
So, yeah, she's
And,
she's just like, this no harm. No big deal. So she'll be fine in the boat.
Should we go out night? Okay, cool. Because I'm not great with it.
The current takes you
The current takes me.
Takes you under.
It's my own boat. What happened to Daddy? Oh, he fell in the boat. And then the bocce ball court, yeah, she'll, I don't know.
She's strong. She'll be like,
Yeah, you need to have the staff clean that out so she can start rolling the ball around.
Yeah.
Thank you, I've been dying to.
Frank is part of our staff now, though. He's chief babysitter.
Oh yeah, he's ready. He's ready to start cashing those benefit checks. Right.
Hi.
My question's for all three of you and kind of lined up right with it because I love the podcast, both of them, Kings of Con and the Then and Now. But I'm curious about what doesn't make it into the actual edited version and Ruth or Daisy, like what you may have overheard that you're like, what's going on here? Like,
Well, that's a Rob question. Rob does the editing of the Rob and Rich podcast, Kings of Con. Rob is the sole editor.
I edited the Kings of Con podcast. It's just not much that gets taken out, and scary really because we just talk very openly. But very little gets taken out. Sometimes if there's something that didn't land right.
I know sometimes if we do, it's got to be, it's fair to say like 95% of everything gets
I'd say 98.
Yeah, I think we only, and sometimes we'll earmark it ourselves. Like if I say something, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that out. I don't want to maybe I make a joke about my kids or my wife. I'm like, that won't play right or whatever. I don't want to do that. Or
Because when you do the kind of comedy that we do, which is very sort of a spin on our own reality,
right.
Sometimes it can be very open stuff, and you're like, maybe that was too much.
Yeah, that's their story to tell or whatever, so we might pull that out.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes we resist temptation to be overly political. So sometimes if we think, and I don't mind being Rob and Rich are political guys. We are active participants in the democracy that makes the U.S. work. We vote. We want you to vote. We encourage all of that. So that I don't have a problem there, but we don't want to become. We are at our heart a lighthearted podcast.
And in terms of what JC and Ruth know, they don't know or care.
I know where the bodies are buried.
JC so doesn't care.
She couldn't care less. In the world of, she literally couldn't care less. It's unsettling how little she cares.
I have a theory, because honestly, it's true. They've maybe edited out two things that I think for just for the reasons that they've mentioned. But do I listen to Smartless? Yeah. I'm like, if we could record or hear the last couple of minutes after the guest leaves and hear what they think of every guest, really, I would love to listen to that. Really, like the outtakes. Anyway, that's just me.
One of the things I really love about the Supernatural Then and Now podcast is that all of our bloopers are there at the end. It's fun for originally when the new episode would come out, we used to just fast forward to the end and listen to the bloopers and see what made it in.
Yeah, that's usually all I listen to is the bloopers. They make me laugh every time.
And I have to say, the amount of time that you've both been on stage doing this, it's a sign of your intelligence and wit that you have not offended far more people. No, but seriously,
For
in
the
this
most
day
part,
and
we're
age,
pretty good at self-editing as we go.
that's what I mean. You do an amazing job because the point is not to alienate anyone or piss anyone off. It's to entertain, right?
We're pretty self-deprecating too. I mean, we tend to be the object of each other's joke or ourselves. You know what I mean? More so than.
Or just me.
Well,
We're pretty Rob deprecating.
yeah, we are around deprecating.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm here from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm from Nashville. It's a good state.
I know. I asked this question for Lisa, Sam, Kim, and Bree yesterday, but it's for all of you to answer. But thinking of Rob's role as Splinter in The Boys, how do you prepare for a role when you know that you have to expose yourself maybe physically, mentally, or emotionally?
You stop eating, and you work out as much as you can. Yeah, you know, when I was presented with that role, I knew right away, right up top, what it was going to be. That there was nudity, that there was that one scene,
Which scene?
I thought it was funny. You know, it made me laugh, and I thought, you know what? There's gonna be a lot of firsts for me, and like as an actor, I'm gonna have to be, you know, it's gonna be a great exercise, and the exercise is to be very vulnerable and own it, and that includes dealing with people's reactions to it, you know, because we're all sensitive artists, and so when people say like, oh my God, how could you do that? I can't look you in the face anymore. You have to be like, wear it, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was me, I did that, and I'm proud of it, you know? So for me, mentally is the biggest thing, is just sort of mentally preparing myself, which I did a lot before I did it. And then by the time I got on set, you know, it was what it was, and you know, it was insane. But it was the mental preparation. Okay, I'm gonna be, you know, I'm not like a young kid in my early 20s, you know, in my early 50s, and so it was a big sort of challenge to sort of get over that in my head, and that's why I wanted to do it, because I was really challenging myself. And as an actor, you know, that's one of the things I love about acting, is like, you know, you get to sort of go into the recesses and discover things about yourself, you know, and that's what I was doing. So.
Rob's being modest as well, because the actual technical difficulty of doing all the fights and being 15 different characters, like the feedback he was getting from Cryptids and from the people he worked with was like, none of them had done anything like it before, and we're just full of admiration of how he did it and how well he did it. And I said to him, you know, people are naked in French movies, like it's art, like who gives a shit? You know? I was naked on stage once in a play, and I prepared by doing Bikram yoga every day for a month. Like, just try and feel like I would as comfortable as to feel as comfortable as I could feel.
I'm so bummed I didn't know you yet. I would have seen the play just to support you.
I would have gone into stage management so Hey Rich, what are you doing? I'm doing the curtains.
Did you have to fly? No, that was your joke.
No, that's so funny, because I literally was thinking the same thing. So your good friend Robin from I live with two people all through college. They're married now and godmother to their children. A girl called Jo and a boy called Joe. And Noah Joe and Molly Joe are their
Joe
kids.
and Joe.
Joe and Joe. And I'm the only non-Joe in the relationship. And Joe girl had to fly across the stage in Tom Stoppard's play naked on a trapeze, and Robin would catch her every night. And he was such a gentleman, she felt, you know, so comfortable.
He's a great guy.
It just went through my head, the exact same thing. I had nobody to help me. I had to walk off stage on my own. There was doors outside the stage. I had to kick the door. Nobody paged the door for me. Nobody was standing with a dressing gown. I was really angry after the dress rehearsal, and
Wouldn't that just be called a rehearsal?
Rehearsal.
I mean,
Undress rehearsal. And what it showed me was that the people round about me were more uncomfortable than I was dealing with it. And actually, there's something like I was in a white hot spotlight, which is probably not flattering at all. And for me, it was extremely liberating. And then it was over. It was done, and nobody died. Nobody's eyes fell out. It was all fine.
I'm actually, some people's eyes fell out watching The Boys, but
That is true.
you were naked in our series Kings of Con.
I was, but I was thinking more Open Water 2. I had to do a bunch of nudity in Open Water 2.
You did.
Nice.
Which was interesting because we weren't really naked in that we were wearing a sock. But like so Open Water 2, everybody falls off a boat and then tries to figure out how to get back on the boat. And one of the things that happens is we tie our swimsuits together, try to make a rope. So that means like 20 minutes into the movie, we're just nude. And the gals, they wore the flesh-colored bikini bottoms, and so that I don't think that was overly exposed. And one girl had a life vest, so she was covered up. And the other ones who wore pasties, because it was under the water. So there was no like glory shots of nudity, but you still felt exposed. All the dudes just wore socks. And one of my favorite parts.
In the water?
Yeah, because there were some shots underneath. But we didn't get out of the water.
Soggy?
They just thought it was a nice thing to do for us, so we didn't feel.
Right.
But the funny part is that the wardrobe department didn't exactly know how to. I mean, it's an indie movie, so they came to us with each guy they wanted at a costume fitting, and a hanger, and on it was an array of socks. You had to pick your own sock. And it started with what looked like LeBron James stocking that like just unfurled down the row, and ended in a preemie baby sock. And it had like little kids for Christmas morning, just a row of stockings, and you had to take from there. So it was very, it was humbling. Gentlemen, pick your sock.
You know what, let me take this little one, and then just for shits and giggles, give me this little one.
Don't laugh. My favorite was, I did say when they brought it in, I say, okay, I want to thank you for giving that ridiculous option. As a guy, I appreciate you even entertaining the idea that any of us would fill that sock. But I'm going to go over here to the middle of the road here and grab my sock. And it was funny because, and you mentioned this too about your episode. The beginning, it was very, okay, we're wearing our vanity robes and you get in the water and you're like, throw your robe down and get in the water. And there are a lot of shots that showed your buttocks, so that's why they couldn't have anything wrapping around you for the dudes. But it was, the whole crew was European. They thought we were all dumb Americans who even cared, but we were, all more, a little more sensitive to it. That was day one. By day 4, or not, week 2, you're over there making an espresso, totally nude. Like, Shirley, cream in your coffee? And nobody cared. That way, literally nobody cared. It was like, you're like, where's your vanity robe? Oh shit, I lost that a week ago. What are you doing? What's the shot, boss?
Yeah.
Oh, is it the press is coming today? Oh, great. Let me put that in the press.
That's exactly the way I avoid. These 2 guys came in my dressing room every day and put on my prosthetic penis. It was an hour process to put it
on themselves or on you?
And then another to take it off was another hour. And at first it was really awkward. And then by the end I was like, how was your weekend, guys? But I was going to say one other quick thing that now, fortunately, sets are required to have an intimacy coordinator on stage for sex scenes, for nudity, anything. So which is amazing, especially for actresses. But in this case, I had an intimacy coordinator for the boys because of all the nudity, and I needed it. I was really glad I had that advocate in my corner who could answer questions about anything that felt uncomfortable,
Did any of you have the thing though? I said yes to the contract, and afterwards I was like, what did I do? Like, you just like, oh, be fine. Then you got to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew what I'd signed up for. I mean, I guess there were days where I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, I came in, I looked at my dressing room, and my they hang your wardrobe in the closet. Mine was this like teeny little, G-string, just a nude colored G-string and a robe. Like that's it. That was all I had to choose from.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you. There's a baby here that's born the same day as Margaret.
Right.
Are you in the room?
Are you asking the baby to speak that?
Yeah. Was anyone here born January 12th this year?
I don't know if they're here.
Are they here?
I don't think they're here.
No. Okay, I just wanted to say hi. But anyway, don't worry. Okay, hello.
Hello. My question is, if you, knowing what you know now, if you could go back and talk to your 24-year-old self, what would you say, or would you do anything differently?
24. Are you 24? Is that why we're?
Yes.
Okay. I would say worry less, have more fun. And I don't mean like party fun and woo woo woo. I mean like I just put myself in the pressure cooker of trying to have a career so much that I think I skipped friends' weddings and didn't enjoy myself in a certain way because I let the industry dictate my choices more than I dictated my own choices. And if I could go back, I would release that stress. I would still pick the same career, I would still pursue it with the same passion, but I wouldn't be a slave to it. And that's what I would tell myself.
I think the same. I took life very seriously. I took acting very seriously. I got married early. I was married by then. I was really just like, yeah, just gonna do it, you know. But this is so gung ho on being an actor and being successful if I could. That yeah, I'd take more time to sort of.
I told myself earlier today, because there was a lovely lady came up to my stand in the vendor's room with her son, and she was really laughing. I don't know if she's here just now. And I just thought she was so happy, and her son had a good sense of humour too. And I gave myself the note today: just laugh more, just be silly more, and yeah, any small thing that you enjoy, just do more of that. Don't worry the big stuff so much.
Good luck. Hello.
I'm Susan and I'm from China. And so
Hello.
Hi. Supernatural is full of rules and myths. So my question is, if you have to live in another world, which one would you pick between the Middle Earth, the Harry Potter world, the Game of Thrones world, and Narnia?
Narnia?
Narnia, yeah, and why?
Okay, I have my answer.
I got my answer.
Okay, go.
Game of Thrones. Got one word for you. Khaleesi.
She'd eat you alive.
Yeah, but I'd go down being eaten by Khaleesi. Guys?
Did you like it when Rob was dressed as Khaleesi?
It kind of, gotta be honest, kind of took away a lot of my affection for Khaleesi. But then I went back and turned on Game of Thrones and saw the real Khaleesi and went, oh right, Khaleesi's not my buddy Rob in a towel and a gown.
Narnia. One of the first things I remember watching was the American cartoon version of Narnia and and wardrobe. And I ended up, as an adult, I played Mrs. Beaver. I gave the world my beaver when I was 29. That was not when I was naked, this was a different show at the same theater.
You have a very brandy resume.
I don't know if that means what you think it means.
And it was so fun to revisit that story and be part of Narnia. And I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I think
You haven't seen what?
Game of Thrones, and I should be. I mean, I'm just saying, like, why am I not in the Lord of the Rings something? Like, surely to God, no. So can I pick two?
Wait, you don't agree?
I do.
Like, come on. I'd love to be in one of those
She's
things.
acting like I'm casting.
I know.
Why am I not in that? No. You know what? I'm going to say Harry Potter. I think it would be...
Sniffledorf.
Yeah, big Harry Potter fan here. I think...
You're in the Sniffledorf house.
Yeah, it's not a thing. I think that if I were in Harry Potter, I'd be one of the kids, or I guess maybe I'd be a teacher. But I'd be...
You're a weird kid.
The kid who failed 40 years in a row.
See, that's the thing, in my head, I'm Harry Potter's age. Right, so I'd be one of the professors, that's cool, because they all got powers, so now it'd be cool to have the powers.
Yeah.
And less likely to be eaten by a dragon or something in Game of Thrones, you know. So yeah, I think it'd be fun to teach a class. I want to be in that school.
Yeah.
I want to teach one of those classes. I don't know what I'd teach.
It would be cool.
Something. Or I could be one of the ghosts. Yeah. But if I were a teacher, maybe like, what would I teach? Like something like, this is how you run away quickly. Ooh, music. Oh.
Thank you for your question. She came all the way from China to ask.
Yeah, amazing. Go to China.
Scotland tomorrow.
Ooh, where are you going?
Oban.
Oh, you got good whiskey there.
Yeah, my friend's getting married, so I don't
Oh,
know what we're doing. So I just want to
it'll
put
be
that on the
lovely.
calendar.
Oban.
Open.
Yeah?
It's a small island.
I just said, oh.
Oh.
My question, Rich, I was at one of these a couple of years ago, and you told a story about a visit to Australia and Rob having an issue with one of the towns there.
Oh, Rob, not like a bird?
Can you just tell it again?
Well, I'm gonna let Rob tell that story because Rob tells it really well.
The funny thing is, there's a Perth in Scotland.
There is a Perth, Scotland.
He
right?
likes Perth.
It's the original Perth, just FYI.
OG Perth.
All right, starting a fight with Australia on the stage. Thank you.
Really quickly, we were in Australia 10 years ago, and someone there came up to us our first night at the convention in tears because she loved Richard Spade. Side note, no love for me. There was no, oh my God, it's Richard Rob. It's like, Richard Spade. And he's like, you know Rob Bennett? She's like, no, really, but Richard Spade. And he's like, she was literally crying for me and Richard, and he was like, it's okay. Tell me where you're from. She's like, Perth. And without missing a beat, he goes, oh, Rob hates Perth. I will tell you right now, I've never been to Perth. I don't hate places. I don't only hate people. I'm not a person of hate. And yet, this woman looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, we take offense to that. Well, wouldn't you? I mean, and then, as it went along, the snowball he created turned into a full-on avalanche, and it got around. He kept, I told this story. We told the story at a panel that weekend, and afterwards, people come up and be like, it's really not so bad. You should visit. I'm like, no, but that's the point. I don't hate Perth. And the more I said I don't hate Perth, the more I hated Perth. But I don't hate Perth. So if you Google Rob hates, it fills in Perth. People, their T-shirts you can buy that says Rob and Perth, like a picture of Perth on a map, and me going, I know, they're kind of struggling. It's all because, and then his as my friend, I was like, Rich, make it stop. He's like, what's you gonna make it stop? Can't make it stop. I built it, and there it goes. I mean, I started, but there it goes, and now I don't know anymore. I can't run with it. Outreach. There it goes.
I mean, hindsight, you know what I'm saying? But here we are. By the way, you know what they call people who live in Perth? Perthers.
So if someone goes missing, they're missing birthday.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, one more.
Hello. I can't really get the image out of Splinter as a ghost running around the halls of Hogwarts.
Well, I mean, it certainly puts the emphasis on warts in Hogwarts.
Questions are directed at Ruth, and all three of you can answer, but Jeff the Talking Mongoose is my wife's favorite cryptid, so I was curious how you guys, if you have a favorite cryptid.
What's a cryptid? I don't know what that is.
Oh, right. Like Bigfoot or something.
Oh.
Like the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie. I've got a picture of Nessie in my house on the wall. Nessie. What about you?
Bigfoot. Bigfoot, I really freaked me out when I was a kid. I really believed. Still kind of do. Freaks me out.
Well,
The picture, man.
Yeah, I gotta say Bigfoot because Steve Austin fought Bigfoot in the $6 Million Man. I think really happened. You remember that?
So I forgot that he turned into acting.
Yeah.
Bigfoot
And
did.
Jeff the Talking Mongoose is real, which I think we established in the movie, so that's it, yeah. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Rob, you have a loud swinging survival kit.
Yes, I do.
To hand out. I see.
So what I have here is a bag, Loud and Swing bag. With inside is the new vinyl album. The new album on vinyl. There's a T-shirt in here. There is a bumper sticker, and of course a kazoo.
How many of you saw that show last night? And how many of you are going to see that show on Monday night? Survivor kit.
Right, and so what we're doing, we're just giving this away to some lucky person, right? And I just have to pick. All right, Ruth, you have to pick a person that's going to get the loudest swing.
Someone who wants...
Somebody, if you don't own that vinyl, if you don't own that vinyl, Ruth's going to
Here
find
comes Ruth. Ruth is going to find the right person and then bring them up on stage.
Put your there if you don't have the album.
You don't have
Album.
Feelings and Such, our brand new.
I'm going to go towards. I'm going to go further.
We're going further in. She's going further in, right?
I'm going in. I'm going in.
There we go. Oh, there she goes.
It's just the only person with redder hair than me.
I don't even think she had her hair like that. She has real hair.
She's shy.
All right, well, you're coming up on stage. I don't know if you're allowed to swing there, but you are now. What do you think? Do you know how to swing the band? Okay, you do. We're so happy.
Do you want to present?
Yes, I'm going to present the present. Thank you for being here this weekend. This is the band. It's all for you. Show us the band.
Also, real quickly, you guys know that Misha Collins is turning 50, tomorrow? Tuesday, right. And he asked me to pass along this message, which is legit, I'm not making it up. So Random Acts is running a fundraiser in honor of his birthday through August 31st. And 100% of all the funds will facilitate acts of kindness. So far, there have been $12,500 raised. It's amazing. But we want to get that number up. We're going to throw something on the screen, I think you guys are, so you can, well, there it is. And by the way, somebody, a random donor will get a signed SP and tape ball that's being given away. So if you donate to this,
Other is him eating the ball.
yeah, you're entering that. And I think they're going to throw,
The tape ball, for anyone who doesn't know, when we are on set, we stand on marks on the floor, and Robin, the props master, took every single mark that Jared, Jensen, Misha, any of us stood on, and rolled them together into a ball. So you basically have a season's tape in a ball. Like, they're so rare. There's only a couple of them in existence in the world.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They're
I wish
awesome.
I had one.
So I don't know, I think they might throw up a QR code that you can.
Oh, look at this. Signed by everybody.
They might be throwing up the QR code so you can use your phone to donate, but
That's the QR code, guys.
one random donor will get a signed SP and tape ball. 5 donors will get signed scripts. So donate or make a page and get friends to donate, or both. You can go to Random Acts social media to learn more. And also, I should say, my wife, the Machete, is on the board of directors of this organization. So, yeah. So, we are big fans of you guys. JC Hayes is a board member of Random Acts.
Oh, I did not know that.
She's not all margaritas, you know what I mean?
She had classed up the joint.
She really did. So you got the photos on the screen, you got the QR code. Here's his goal. This is his birthday wish. He wants to get that total up to $50,000. You've done $12,500 in under 24 hours. I think by the 31st of August, we can get to 50,000.
50, yeah.
50 for
50.
Give $1, give whatever you can, share the QR code and the Random Acts social media with your friends, get people to donate. Nobody gives back more than Misha Collins, and even in our celebration of his turning 50, the best way to give him our appreciation is to help him give to other people. So,
Ruth and I are going to donate. We just talked about it. We're going to donate your salary, Rich, which
oh my
I
God.
appreciate you.
Like I said, donate $1. Thank you, Rob.
No, but we're going to do it. We're going to donate for Misha.
And the more you can spread the news outside the